If this movie were done in the 40s, I think Humphrey Bogart would be the star of it.
Yes, I love that. Wow, that's great. Yes, I agree.
Because it seems to me like a tip of the hat to those great films where you're trying to figure out a mystery with the protagonist.
Correct. You're absolutely correct.
So tell me, I mean, putting this movie together, are you the type of director that storyboards everything, or do you let it be organic and just happen?
You know, a little bit of both. I'm a little in the middle. You know, I've watched as a producer for so long, so many different ways to direct a film, you know, from Scorsese, you know, to a young filmmaker. I felt I wanted to be overly prepared, and I felt the DP that I worked with, cinematographer, you know, was a good idea to storyboard rough sketches, but not frame by frame. I just felt like time-wise, my time would be better spent shot listing each shot and really getting into detail. I also like a lot of rehearsal. You know, I love directing actors. So part of the reason I got into directing is I love that part of it. And so I spent a lot of time shot listing and blocking and rehearsing and performance. So I storyboarded, but I didn't storyboard in the detail that others. I have been on films as a producer of storyboard.
And that's a whole different hat you have to wear. I know you've produced some of the finest films in Hollywood.
Thank you.
But this is, you know, stepping into this arena has got to be mind-boggling for you.
It was nerve-wracking. You know, I felt I was creatively dying as a producer, and I knew that I would transition at some point trying to direct. And I use that word "trying" as the key word. I had no idea whether or not I would succeed or fail. And I was petrified, you know, going in. But the more scared and the more nervous I was, the more prepared I got. And I just kept doing my homework and homework and homework. And then by the time I got to day one, I still didn't know if I loved the prepping of the movie. I didn't know if I'd like to shoot it. Like, I didn't know. It was new to me. And I remember walking on set day one and I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, it allowed me to be present, and it allowed me to be honest, and it allowed me to be truthful in the moment of being on a set, which in the last 20 years, you make so many movies at one time, you're moving around, you know, you're not there every minute, whereas this allowed me to be really present, and I needed that.
But producing also helps you prepare for the unexpected, because that's what a producer does.
Correct. The only thing I didn't plan for was the pandemic, but other than that, yes. But you know, being a director, because I've grown up on sets, I feel really comfortable. When I walk on a set, I feel like it's my home. You know, I'm supposed to be here. So as a director, that part of it felt really good. The part that was new was the 400 questions you get every hour. So I had to get used to that, being able to think on the spot. If I didn't know something, I had to be able to say, hey, give me a second, let me figure that out. So that was new for me. But yes, being a producer definitely, I think, gives me an edge as a first-time filmmaker.
Here's what blew me away. Megan Fox, you know, I just saw her in an action adventure that was filmed in Africa, and she did amazing in that. Yeah. And then this film, she's really stepping up, and she's very, very talented. And I don't think Hollywood really realized what kind of talent this young lady has.
I agree. I think it's understated. You know, I think people sometimes try to put people in boxes, you know, put them in a place that, you know, she's a big action star, or she does, you know, Transformers, or whatever it may be, Mutant Ninja Turtles, or whatever, you know, whatever it is. But Megan is a seriously trained actor, and she takes her craft very seriously. So for me, I went after her as my first choice, just because I thought she would give me the layers, you know, of this character. But I agree with you. I saw that movie, and she's fantastic. And everything I needed out of this role, every time I pushed her for more, if I wanted more from her, she just kept going. She never fought. She never said, oh, you know, I don't understand. You know, it's just like, well, what do you want? Tell me what you need, and I'll give it to you. And it was great. So I was very lucky to have an actor like her and Emile Hirsch both, who wanted to be molded.
Yeah, Emile just steps up to the plate. Just you know, again, he's one of those guys that can do anything: comedy, drama. Noir, like this. I mean, he could do anything.
I agree. He's He's one of my favorites. You know, I met him on Lone Survivor. I didn't really know him at all at that time. We became really good friends. We both love poker and gambling. So on that movie, we did a lot of that at night. But, you know, we've been friends and we've done other movies since then. And when I was deciding whether or not I was going to direct, I remember I told Lala, I said, Lala, I'm going to do a table read. And Utah native, by the way. And I'm going to do a table read. And I said, Lala, will you read one of these roles for me? I'm going to bring a lot of actors in. And you're a good actress. Will you just read this round? I didn't hear it out loud. I'm not sure. And then I called Emil and I said, Emil, I'm thinking the same thing. He came, he sat next to me. And I remember 20 minutes into the table read, I wrote on the back of the script, I wrote, I'm definitely directing this movie. And will you play this role? And he's like, yes. So it all happened because, you know, Emil is just somebody that I really trust. You know, he's one of those phenomenal actors. And I just felt like, wow, watching him take the words, even in a table read and make it that special, just gave me the confidence that this is the movie I should direct.
And then the icing on the cake is Bruce Willis. What, you know, I mean,
phenomenal.
What a professional he is. I've been on sets with Bruce and I'll tell you what, there's nobody that, you know, comes more prepared.
No, he's always there. And what's great about Bruce is I had done, you know, in my career about 15 movies with him. And I called him up and I said, Bruce, look, I can't afford you in this film. This is like my directorial debut. This is not the producer Randall who's paid you, you know, well, and he's made me a good living by being in the movie. But I said, I need you to do this for like almost nothing. And he's like, what? And I said, yeah, you have to do this as a favor to me because I'm directing. And he's like, well, how much is a favor? And I basically gave him a number and he agreed. It was amazing. So he did this. He really did this as to help me, you know, earn my stripe as a first-time filmmaker.
Well, sure, and your cinematographer is just amazing on this.
Thank you. Now we, you know, we shut down during the pandemic, and I used 2 cinematographers. I had 2 different crews. I had to rebuild sets in a different location. It was brutal, but in the end, we pulled it off. It took 9 months to make this movie because of the shutdowns and COVID. You know, all this different stuff we had to endure. But the cinematographers, both of them, really were like my film school. You know, they really helped me understand lens choices and lighting and mood and what, and you know, when I'd walk on the set, I'd say, it's a little too bright. And they're like, well, let's talk about that. It's a little more complicated than that. You know, I'd look in the frame and I'd say, it's the stops, you know, can you bring it down a few? And then by the end, they were like, wow, you're like a real director now, because I would start with, it's too bright. And then I learned, you know, what lenses to put on the camera. So
your first hand experiencing Bowfinger, you know, with this.
It's exactly that. It was,
you know what I mean?
Great. It was great. Yes. But it was like that because I was great at directing. I felt like I was really good with actors and directing actors, but I didn't really know all the technical. And they really helped me because I just finished my second movie with De Niro and Malkovich. And on that film, with that cinematographer I used, the lingo was there, but they really kind of had to teach me that because I was, you know, I was the guy that paid for the rentals of the cameras. I didn't know what lenses we were using until I started doing it myself.
Randall, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you. Let's catch up sometime and congratulations on Midnight in the Switchgrass. What a great film.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.